Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're reviewing the 2024 Kia Sorento plug-in hybrid. Before we get into this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Jerry Steiner Kia here in Salt Lake City, Utah for giving me some time with the Sorento. I'm going to include a link to the website in the description down below so you can check out what they have currently. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Powering this is a turbocharged 1.6 liter 4-cylinder paired to a hybrid system and a 6-speed automatic transmission. Total system output is 261 horsepower. And then when it comes to the fuel economy side of things, the MPGe rating is 79. The MPG rating without any sort of hybrid assist is 34 miles combined between city and highway driving. And then you can get 32 miles on a single charge. Now, before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So taking a look at the hood, you guys can see how you've got these really cool lines all over, and I like the silver paint on this. And then popping down below, you guys can see the headlight design, and you'll notice that this isn't the new style of headlights. We'll talk about that a little bit later in the review, and yes, this is a 24. And then you guys can see the grille's all blacked out, and we do have parking sensors there at the bottom as well as fog lights. And putting it all together, it's not too crazy with the styling, but I think the Sorento looks pretty good. Now around the side here, our tire wheel setup is 235, 55, 19 in the front and over in the rear. And you guys can see with the wheels, you've got the silver mixed with the metallic gray. I think that looks really sharp. And look at the fender flares, they're pretty chunky. You can see the rest of the bodywork there on the side. And then I like these little kind of silver trim elements added in. And then here is the side profile with the Sorento. Now taking a look at the key fob, we have our remote start function, we have the lock and unlock function, we also have the opening for the hatch as well, and let's pop her open. Now taking a look at the cargo space, you guys can see that behind the third row there's not a ton of space, and by the way that's the charging cable for the hybrid stuff. So yeah, if you really want storage space, you're going to have to throw the third row down. And speaking of space in the third row, it's actually really good for this size of SUV. You guys can see you've got a decent amount of legroom, and also I like the perforations on these seats. Headroom is a little bit more on the cramped side of things, but I would say that you can fit adults back there, but still I would reserve it for kids. When you're all done, just press this button and that will lower the hatch right back down. Pretty cool taillight design here in the back, and then you guys can see the PHEV badge down below, and then you got the rest of the badges here in the back as well, and then parking sensors at the bottom. And putting it all together, let me guys think about the overall design here on this version of the Sorento, especially compared to the new version that's coming out soon. Now taking a look at the door panel, you guys can see soft touch at the top, and then we've got the sunshade here for the back, and then look at the trim down below. I like the two-tone design with this. We do have heated seats for the back as well, and then decent storage. And then taking a look at the seats, perforated all down the center portion. Legroom here in the back's good. We also have a little storage pocket, and then you guys can see you've got some vents in the back. So I have a bunch of charging ports down below as well. And then headroom back here, it's good. Now taking a look at the front door panel, you guys can see soft touch here, and then notice down below as well, and then you can see the stitching here. All of our window controls, we've got our door lock and unlock function there, mirror adjustments, the mirrors do power fold in, memory seats, and then we do have blind spot monitoring with the mirrors. And then taking a look at the front seat, again perforated all down the center portion, power adjustments here on the side, and look at the pedals, pretty cool. And then we have this for lane departure here, stability control, that's to open up the hatch, your gas cap release, and then look at this with the vents on the side. Now taking a look at the steering wheel, you guys can see soft touch all around. I like the stitching on the center, and then notice this blacked out trim piece. We also have paddle shifters there on the back for that 6-speed automatic. And then you guys can see we've got our adaptive cruise control, your lane keep assist, voice command, and volume controls as well. And then your regular stocks here on the back. We do have this big digital gauge cluster here in the center, which we can use to see different bits of info on the vehicle. And then this is where we can also change the drive modes. I like the little animation with the modes. I think that's a pretty cool part of it, if you ask me. In reverse, we do have a backup camera with trajectories that turn the steering wheel. You can see the bird's eye view as well. And yeah, I would say solid camera system overall. As to the rest of the infotainment system, response time with this is good. It's easy to use. So I think they did a good job with that whole setup. And then we do have physical climate controls just down below. I like the vent setup here. I think that's pretty cool. The dash is soft touch. You can see the stitching there, and then look at that trim that goes across, and then more soft touch down below. And then with the glove box, yeah, mine just felt pretty nice. Got our charging area here. And then you guys can see with the controls for the heated and ventilated seats. I like the dial shifter down below. And then got some cup holder stuff happening there. Drive mode select here with the center locking differential, heated steering wheel button. And then notice we have our EV/HEV mode. We can switch between auto hold, hill descent control, parking brake, parking sensors as well, all in that area. And the center console, pretty good. Nice padding on the top, and then we do have a panoramic sunroof. So here's our window sticker again, 2024 model year Sorento. So they're doing the old body style for the first part of 24, for those of you that are wondering. Anyways, $51,540 is the total MSRP on this thing. Let's see how it drives. Let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's visibility over the hood, both mirrors. Do a blind spot monitor through the rest of the rear, and Sorento away. And for those of you wondering, yes, I will do a review on the new 24 Sorento when that comes out. Again, they're just doing this for the first part of the 24 model year. But yeah, the new one should be here sometime in 24. It says early 2024, I think, for the release with that. So yeah, you guys will see the video when you see the video. I do think the new one looks really cool though. It's kind of like a, looks like a mini Telluride in a way. So yeah, it looks like, I mean, Hyundai's doing the same thing with the new Santa Fe. They're making it boxier. So it seems like they're going for that boxier design, because that's what people like nowadays. They like the boxier looks. So anyways, seat comfort's good with this version of the Sorento, which, I mean, you'd hope so. It's the loaded up luxury one, right? Powertrain seems pretty seamless so far. I like the torque feel. Smooth. And you hear 1.6 liter 4-cylinder and you're like, I don't know about that. Got the turn signal camera. It's a cool feature. Suspension's really comfortable on this. Wow. I mean, I'm barely getting into it and it feels like it's got some good power. I think that's pretty impressive. It's comfy too. Yeah, I really like how this drives. So we've got the train that'll be crossing there for the next 30,000 years. So we're gonna do a different route compared to what we normally do because of that. But yeah, the torque on this is really good. For a plug-in hybrid at this price point, I think they've done a good job. You know, you gotta think most other plug-in hybrids, like I'm thinking, you know, the Mitsubishi Outlander, the RAV4 Prime, both of those have good power, but they're, you know, they don't have a traditional automatic, and they're not turbocharged, they're naturally aspirated, so ECVT, naturally aspirated. A little bit of a different setup than this. So it's interesting. Punch it. Woo! I like the power delivery on this a lot. So to sum things up here with the Sorento plug-in hybrid, I think it looks good on the outside. I do think the new one looks better. I like this interior though a lot. Like, the new one does have, you know, an updated interior, so it does look a little bit different, but I mean, frankly, like, if they had this interior in the new one, I wouldn't complain, because I like the overall look. I like the overall setup. I think they've done a good job with it. And then, you know, as for the plug-in hybrid side of things, it drives well. It definitely drives well. So yeah, I think they've done a good job. Let me know what you guys think, and let me know if you think this is the Sorento powertrain to get, the plug-in hybrid, or is there another powertrain that you think is better to go for?